Hi Pisces rising sign, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at the very first week of June, from 1st to the 7th of June. So if you are a Pisces rising sign, this week brings quite a defining shift straight to your private world, your personal identity, and your immediate environment. You are moving from a stubborn friction regarding your daily communication and the private commitment through kind of like a shock to your domestic foundation and home space, and landing at a crossroads where your creative self-expression must take center stage. Also, this could be pretty much triggering your relationship department as well. Now, the story of the week is about shedding old habits of relationship codependencies, stepping unapologetically into your personal autonomy and completely rewriting the rules of what truly matters to you, rewriting the rules of your inner sanctuary. Now, let's map it out day by day so you can navigate this energy flawlessly. So the story begins on Monday, June 1st, with a very sharp clash, a square, between your immediate environment and your private world, subconscious world. Mars is currently moving through your third house of communication, marketing, writing, and local logistics. In Taurus, Mars it gives you an incredible drive to speak your mind, run your schedules your way, completely refusing to back down. Maybe you are actually approaching collaborators or marketing people and so forth. But Mars throws that square to Juno in the 12th house. And Juno represents our binding commitments, vows, the rules of your contracts. And in your 12th house, discover hidden agreements. Hidden agreements that you might have made karmically speaking as well, but also behind the scenes obligations or places where you quietly compromise your peace for others. So this is a bit of a tug of war between your urgent daily communication needs or marketing tasks or a secret private exhaustion or hidden contract issues. I also associate the 12th house and the third house together as anxieties. So you can be anxious about what your partner is doing or how to actually publish further. You might be thinking outside of the box, how to generate income. You might find yourself fiercely resisting a local obligation or scheduling demand because of that deep private part of you is kind of begging you to pull back a little bit to protect your energy. It could be a passive aggressive speech or digging your heels in out of pure frustration. Forcing a verbal outcome today without honoring your need for rest will only drain your battery. So this could be also an indication for me where it's very easy to kind of get into that verbal debate where Mars in Taurus is very stubborn, so it wouldn't kind of back down. And this could be, for example, with a lovers or with a partner of ours. Now, thankfully, that secret kind of that mental tension gets a bit of a release valve on Tuesday, June 2nd. The sun is currently lighting up your fourth house of home, family, inner foundation, putting the spotlight on your private world. On Tuesday, the sun forms this beautiful grounding sextile to Saturn in your second house, the house of personal income, values, and material security. So this is very good to start building the financial stability directly from your home base while you are sorting out your domestic life or business backend under the Gemini Sun. Its connection to Saturn gives you that practical execution strategy to secure your money. You might be contemplating on working from home, or you might be hoping that a property sales would go through, or you might even be thinking about relocation, not wanting to renew the contract of your house if you are renting something, and so forth. Also, you might be wondering if you can be working from home, and then you are coming up with a strategy for it, organizing your personal business budget, setting long-term financial terms for a real estate matter, anchoring your self-worth into that concrete business plan. Like I said, it could be a bit of a release valve for the previous tension from Mars and Juno. So this might be you deciding that you are going to be actually spending a little bit of a money, for example, just to feel better in your home environment. So you might decide to buy like a communicational device, like a speaker, and I'm going to be listening to music and all this type of stuff. But it's all about looking at the numbers and kind of like even because the Saturn in your second house gives you immense financial discipline. So often it's about being able to say no to something. Now, on June 3rd, we have got two aspects. Mercury is trining your north node, therefore sextile the south node, and Ceres makes a conjunction to Uranus. So first, Mercury is moving through your fifth house of creative self-expression, passion, independent business, romance, children, forming that beautiful trine to your north node in the first house, right on your front door. That's the house of self and identity, and sextile in the south node in your seventh house of relationships as well. So Pisces risings might have been caught up in the seventh house trap, obsessing over a partner's needs. Like, why do they not reply to my text message? Trying to please the clients, trying to please the person that we are together with, letting the relationship dynamics dictate your personal choices. And it feels like that you are about to start breaking this cycle. Maybe this is a creative conversation or a sudden download regarding a passion project. Maybe, like I said, you potentially are looking for collaborators, or you have got a business idea and you want to sell that to someone. But what it really feels like is that you step out of the codependent loops and step confidently into your own skin, trusting your individual path. Simultaneously, Ceres meets Uranus right in your fourth house. So that's a lightning pole to your home, family dynamic, living situation, emotional foundation. So that could be a sudden change in your household setup, an unexpected shift regarding a parent, a radical decision to completely rewrite your domestic schedule. Or this could indicate that in order for you to grow, your mental abilities, maybe you just decide that I'm going to lock the doors up a little bit and I'm going to be contemplating on my life, how to move actually forward. This is a bit of an emotional freedom, and it looks like you are upgrading that, or you're upgrading your physical sanctuary. I also can imagine that potentially maybe you have got that idea to relocate because you might be having an astrological service which says that you are blocking your growth at a particular place. Because Ceres really represents growth. It's a mother archetype as well. So there could be something happening with the mother, something shocking. Maybe the mother is reaching out to you and then you guys haven't spoken for a long time. Gemini is typically about text messages, gossips, news, and so on. Now, moving into the latter part of the week, the narrative gets a bit more practical. On June 4th, Bacchus enters your sixth house, bringing a lot of energy, a lot of celebration, being happy about work, how the work is going. It might be increasing your vitality. Imagine that you are ready to celebrate because, I don't know, you lost a couple of pounds and so on. It's about upgrading your wellness routine, pampering your body, bringing a sense of luxury to your daily job tasks. But on Friday, June 5th, quite a busy day, it demands an immediate focus. A series in your fourth house moves into that 10 square with the nodes in your first and seventh house. So you might have had that domestic family shakeup on Wednesday, and then it hits a crossroad. So you might find yourself trying to use the Gemini arguments to solve a deeply emotional home or root issue. And the universe is blocking that escape hatch. If you fall back into the old patterns of focusing entirely what a partner or client wants, or try to micromanage your household details, you will trigger a kind of like mental fatigue there. I can also imagine that there is kind of like an agreement going down within the family, and then it somehow backfires, and we have to be making a choice whether I'm going to be choosing me or I'm going to be choosing the other person. I mean, South Node is in the seventh house, and Mercury is in sextile to your South Node, right? So somehow it feels like that maybe it's kind of like we are making a choice to make a relationship official, or we are moving together, or we decide that we should be going separate ways. And then maybe when this crossroad happens with series, maybe we are actually trying to be logical about it, and maybe we have regretted our decision, or we simply, yeah, we regret our decision. Now, to add to this, Juno officially stations retrograde in your 12th house. For the next few months, you are reviewing your behind the scenes commitments, private contracts, hidden sacrifices. You are being asked whether you are carrying this invisible weight in your relationship, or are you sacrificing your personal freedom for a vow that is no longer fair. There's a lot of internal negotiations happening in your life. On 5th, still, Persephone enters Taurus, and on the 6th, asteroid Lilith enters Gemini. And I think Persephone entering the third house is actually important because it's joining Mars there. It's all in the communication sector, right? So remember the intense schedule or communication tension from Monday? Well, this is where you are asked to master your voice. Persephone represents profound intellectual rebirth here. So I'm no longer bargaining with my time, with my calendar, with my messages. I'm going to say what I feel like saying. I'm feeling empowered to build this rock solid brick walls around my daily schedule, and demanding absolute respect for my ideas and terms. And Lilith enters your fourth house and sitting right at the base of your chart. So, any desire to mask your true feelings with family or people you live together with, or play nice to keep a domestic situation comfortable, starts vanishing. You are claiming absolute power over your personal sanctuary. I don't want my privacy to be invaded. I have zero tolerance for double standards, family gaslighting, or just they are calling me when they need something. Or I have no time for a domestic drama either. If you work from home or run an online kind of like activity, or you manage a household, this is a green light to speak your unfiltered truth. You command absolute authority in your own space. And then we are closing the week with a Mercury Vesta square. Mercury is still sitting in your fifth house, while Vesta is in your second house. So this is another conflict between your public creative self-expression or branding and your intense devotion to your personal bank account, financial security, survival rules. I mean, Mercury wants to have fun. Vesta is focused on the money. And this is a direct clash here where I would like to do something, and maybe I have to be watching how much money I spend. Vesta is in the second house, has you completely consumed by auditing your personal income, protecting your savings, focusing on the material value. But Mercury in the fifth house is flooding your mind with artistic ideas, branding options, marketing plans, and all those demanding the focus. It's like you're trying to invest money into marketing, for example, but I don't have the cash. Shall I do it? And maybe you are trying to execute your passion project while simultaneously obsessing over your budget. And that leaves your brain slightly bit fried. So the key here is strict compartmentalization, setting a hard boundary, going for that fun event, but at the same time, maybe just a couple of hours. We don't need to go overboard with it. And then step away completely to let your creative flame burn right bright without financial guilt. This is also about that you are talented, and I'm focusing on generating income through my talents, but maybe we are hitting a kind of a wall here. So I feel like you are stepping beautifully out of relationship codependency traps this week. You are doing a lot of internal, private, and domestic audits. You are claiming absolute sovereignty over your mind and your home. And this is a time for you to trust your financial strategies because eventually this should start showing up positively in your life. So good luck, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit and like, to push the hit and like subscribe button, and make a comment underneath the video. That always helps me reach a wider audience. Take care. Bye-bye.